topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Well, good evening, and welcome to another session of dynamic conversation and all that good stuff with Setting It Straight. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We have a special guest, but before I do that, I have to welcome my wonderful co-host, Miss Trey, from all the way from Virginia. There she is. Trey, give us a little holler. How is the weather up there right now?
It's a little cool today, but I think it's supposed to be little cool. Okay. So we're up and down. Tomorrow's gonna be mid-60s, but I think our lows are gonna be somewhere in the 40s, 30s.
Okay. I'm not coming that way. Thank you. You won't have to worry about me showing up at the door. Hallelujah. And of course, I have Miss Tommy. She's around the way. She's here in Orlando with me. Tommy, what's going on? How was your day and all that jazz?
Had a wonderful day, great day. Can't complain.
Well, she don't complain anyway, y'all. She don't complain anyway. If she do, Jesus is here. We're done. That's a wrap. We're taking it home. I tell you, if she complains. Well, of course, you all are probably wondering, who is that lovely young lady with that hat on, looking all fly and everything? Well, she is the one and only best designer, and she's going to correct me on this because I never really did it right. I could call her a seamstress. I call her an alternating person. She's a designer. She's a personal designer. She's going to get it straight. But please, everybody, help me welcome with a warm adieu, Miss Wilnelda Romulus. And I know.
Thank you. Designer, yes. Stylist, yes. Seamstress, yes. Consultant, yes. Coordinator, yes. Mentor, yes. There you go.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. And I have to tell them how we met, Winnie. We were going to the same nail tech. And just one day we were talking and she said, well, I think you brought up the fact that, I got to collect, my birthday's coming up. I said, really? Mine is too. When's yours? And she said, August 2nd. Okay. Huh? And I was like, what'd you say? She goes, yes. I said, well, mine is August 2nd. Not that everybody can't be born on August 2nd, but we're very rare in the same space. And I think you were born in the daytime, right?
No, in the evening.
In the nighttime. I was in the evening too. Or maybe I was in the midday. Can't remember. But anyway, we made it. I'm a few years older than she, but we just been hitting it off ever since. And I'm just thank you again for wanting to join us tonight. This is, I think, kind of your first time going on such a larger platform. She's been out there, don't get it twisted, but she don't get her prompts that she needs and deserves. So I want to thank you again. And before we go on, I want to say also, I want to put it out there on this, in this format, that when I was in the hospital, Winnie came to see me. And she did not want to enter that facility, but she said, I had to come and see you. And I was in a coma, and she, only the Holy Spirit led her to find one of my former prayer discussions, Bible studies, and she put her phone near my ear for me to hear the word going forward. And I believe you said, I'm not sure, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think there was a movement or either a tier or something.
Yeah, there was a movement. You did a movement.
I did a movement. And so, that's the word of the Lord. And so I want to say thank you. You've hung in there with me. She's been there for my daughter, helping her with her clothing line, handbag line, and she's about to do some exciting things. And so I'm gonna ask the big question, and then I'm gonna let Winnie just follow along. You put it out there, whatever you think we need to do in here tonight, because this is a season now that everybody think that they can wear everything. Just because Cardi B had it on don't mean you're supposed to wear it. I don't understand. Just because Janet wears layers and asymmetric stuff, you go and cut stuff up and you go put it on. I don't get that part, but nevertheless.
Right.
My biggest question I've always wanted to ask, if it's fact or fiction, why are we not allowed to wear white after Labor Day? There you go. I'm going to mute myself now.
Well, it's no longer fact anymore. It is kind of more fiction. So they're no longer having that type of regulation or rules. I'm sure it's a lot of different reasons why. People can research. You can Google and see, okay, this is why you shouldn't wear white after Labor Day. But the main reason I would say is the seasonal colors. White is more of the Easter, the summer, maybe even the winter. But I want to say there was even a reason military-wise at one point. But again, Google is your friend. Google could tell you everything related to fashion, but it's no longer a fact. It is kind of now fiction. So anybody can wear what they want to wear, even though that's the problem. You're saying that everybody want to wear what they want to wear, but that's no longer a fashion rule, so to say. So it's not as no as it used to be. But some people follow classics, and some people still, want to follow that belief system. So to each his own. So there you go.
Nice. So, ladies, of course, you know what we do. We jump in if you have some questions, but I like for Winnie to talk about what's in now. We're in Florida. Is it different from up north? What's in right now? What should we have our closet, kind of stocked with as far as colors, fabrics, and things like that?
Me, I'm a fashion trend colors kind of personality. So I like to kind of stick to the colors of the season. I'm going into December, so I like to do a lot of emeralds. I like to do a lot of shimmery type of stuff coming closer to December. Winter, the blues, the whites, that's the kind of thing I personally like to do. Fall, I like to do the burnt orange. I like to do the greens. I like to do the creams. So you kind of see I'm trending, transitioning, kind of. I guess I forgot December date in a sense. I like to do my hats. But as far as what we're doing, everything for Florida is not going to necessarily be the same as up north in New York because of the seasons that we have. The winter is not really as winter. So again, it's really what people like, what books they like to follow, what trends they like to follow. Something that may be in ebony may not be in vogue. So you kind of lead to what catches your eye. And you could be in Florida dressed like you're from New York. You can do what you like. I do see a lot of colors lately. I even see now you can do pastels in the fall and in the winter time, which is a different thing. So those are some of the new trends of the season that I've noticed.
And I know for right now we're kind of talking about women. And if you feel comfortable, you can talk about men's styles and things. But because now I'm seeing the men are wearing pencil thin type of narrowing pant that comes above the ankle and the pointed toe shoe. Some men are wearing no socks anymore. They're wearing the velour shoe and things like that at weddings, and stuff. So and then there's some they wear tight clothes. They're wearing tight stuff, and they're trying to button one button, and it's looks like it's putting a lot of pressure on the button. And I'm like, where you going with that? I hope you ain't looking for nobody, because you got some attention today. It's not really positive, So why do I mean, so for men, let's hop on to men, and then ladies, now come on in and ask some questions. But for men, and then also Winnie, whatever you feel that we need to know, what would you tell? Because we're on a huge platform. People go back in they look at the archive message, they listen to the archive shows, excuse me. And what is it that we need to tell people how they should be dressing? And then maybe if we have some time, we could talk about an age thing too.
Okay.
We could talk about age.
With men, I've noticed fitted, not necessarily tight. So maybe their fits are a little too fitted. I guess that would be what you would feel. I do notice a lot of fitted and a lot of slim fit type of pants, more or less. So that's kind of what I see with the men. And like you said, with the buttons, those kind of things are kind of what I see with the men. I'm trying to think with my brother. He likes to dress, I guess, suave, kind of like he's on the beach a lot. So that's kind of the style he likes to go. But also, like you said, at weddings, adding color for the men, adding a jacket. Steve Harvey has a really good video for men. It's been on TikTok where he talks about the suits and the colors of the suits. It's almost like 3 to 4 colors that he says that are ideal for men, and it's viral on TikTok. I've seen a lot of different men's stylists mix it up, and it's almost as if they have those 3 to 4 colors. I want to say it's black, brown, tan, and blue. They almost can make everything work with that. So yeah, and they're not doing as much baggy legs as before, probably.
Yeah, so fashion has really, I mean, and once upon a time when we were all little people growing up, I mean, I grew up, I can remember in the 5th grade, I had the wedge shoe and the maxi dress that came out. We didn't wear nothing mini, everything was maxi. And then I grew into high school and things started coming above the knee, and a wedge shoe again still was there, but then that little low heel, no heel type of thing. So fashion over the years has really evolved really nicely. But now I think everybody we go for what whatever you feel comfortable in, whether you're going to an event or not, just going to the grocery store. I've seen people go to play the lottery and they all dressed up, and I'd be like, well, are you going someplace else? You just came to play the number, or go to the pawn store, and they're all dressed up like
a lot of people walk with the main character type of energy. They are the main character of their own life. So that is the reason to dress up, because they are the main character. It's almost a confidence booster in a sense to get dressed up just to go to the grocery store. If I look good, I feel good, I do good, I'm good. So sometimes that's kind of the mantra they follow.
So thank you for mentioning the psychological, emotional piece. You're absolutely right. Then there's some people who walk out and they don't care, and they go braless, they go very thin material, and it just don't matter. It's like, whatever I got on, I got to go get some eggs. And I don't know if they forget that what they got on. They just hop in the car and go to the store. It's like, okay, you're in a hurry,
It
but I
could be a mental
bringing
thing.
that. Yeah, it does. It mentally, emotionally. That is, once I came out of the hospital, I was wondering, what am I going to wear now? What am I going to wear? Because I'm not going to go. And I had to think about it. Seriously, do I cut the sleeve off the left arm kind of thing? I really did. Because I'm like, no, I don't want to cut my clothes. I gave away over 80 pairs of shoes that I wore all the time throughout the year, and now I've got certain types of shoes I have to wear. My Crocs are my best friend right now, because I have them in all colors. Like I put the little digits on it and stuff like that. But when I go out, I have yet to go out to someplace fancy and formal. I don't know what's going to happen when I have to do that because of, how I physically have to. It's got to be something I want to be able to put on my clothes. I can have help if I need to, but I want to look back, decent. I'm already going to have eyes on me, so, and maybe we could talk about that a little bit too. But ladies, now y'all have to talk now, because people are going to think it's just me and Winnie, and it's not the case. So there we go.
No, I mean, I'm taking it all in. So, but my thing now, one of my things I see, I guess it's trend. I don't know what is up with the pajamas and the bonnets and the slippers going out in the public? Because it makes me think, if you're wearing that out in public, what are you wearing to bed? Are you putting jeans? Are you
I
switching
don't.
the I'm just, it's just a curiosity for me. And not trying to knock anyone, but I think, how can I put this? It just seems like it's a regression. When we talked about the grocery store and, people dressing up and going to the grocery store. If you look back in the day, probably a generation or so, people dressed up to go to restaurants. People dressed up to catch a bus. People dressed up to catch a plane. If you look at the old shows, I Love Lucy, they dressed up to go different places. Because that was the appropriate thing. Now, do you have to resort to that? No. No one feels like dressing up like that. But I know in my growing up, my mom said, we're going to a restaurant, no jeans, you got to wear something. It was a dress, shoes, whatever. And I understand that. But I really don't understand the slippers and the bonnets and the pajamas. Just rolling out like that. I wish, and like I said, I can't talk about everybody's stuff. I wish that more time was taken, maybe a pair of sweatpants versus the pajama pants, or, some slides versus the slippers, because you're taking all that stuff that you got out in the grocery store or wherever you're going and bringing it back in your house, with the slippers and stuff. I'm sorry, that's my pet peeve. And everybody has their style. I can't stand the sagging. I can't personally stand the sagging.
Right.
But that's me. So,
I do.
and I think,
I
I don't know. I try to be comfortable. So if it fits and is clean and looks halfway decent, I try to try to at least do that.
Amen. Thank you, Amanda. That's one of my former students from Belhaven. She said, bring back the 1950s. I want to go back to the 40s because those box hats and stuff. But Winnie, go ahead and address, Trey, as far as the bonnets. I'm right there with you. And the halter top and the spaghetti strap blouse and some pajama pants and the slippers and the house shoes, please.
I do believe it may be cultural, like not necessarily cultural. I mean, cultural as in the type of culture or environment that finds it accessible or acceptable is what I wanted to say more than not. For me, it's not. I don't agree with going to the grocery store in a bonnet or in my sweatpants. I have sometimes even have a problem going out to the front door with my pajama pants on, but at least I'm in front of my front door throwing away the trash or getting the trash in. But I do think sometimes it is culture, and when I say culture, I don't mean like Jamaican culture, African culture. I mean maybe a type of society that maybe has that type of culture, maybe a younger generation of hip hop lovers or a younger generation in a specific type of neighborhood that does not see that as being a problem. Or it could be also mental, like you were saying, Leisha. It could be, where their mindset is at. But it is something some people just need to grow out of, or some people just got to realize that it's not acceptable. It's just not. But that's where I think of it is, if nobody tells them that it's not acceptable, sometimes people just don't think that it is. So it is though putting a little more effort into how you are and who you are and what you look like so that you can go outside. Like you said, not necessarily having to wear, the dress and the ball gown to go to the grocery store, but at least maybe some sweatpants. Or I sometimes like to wear my workout clothes, even if I ain't working out that day. I'll sometimes put on my workout clothes, just to run out, but at least it's presentable, and that's how I feel it.
Well, sometimes you got these women as wearing this workout stuff that you can tell they ain't looking at nobody gym, they ain't looking at nobody exercise. And they think it's acceptable. And I'm agreeing with Ms. Gray. The spaghetti strap tops or the spaghetti strap dresses, but you ain't got no foundation on, and everything is everything. And is and like you said, I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's the mindset of people. And I mean, I see it from 8 to 80, and it's like, what are you thinking? It just don't, I ain't gonna be, like you said, dressed like you going to the store every day, but I think you should have some expectation of yourself when you walk out the door. You never know who you're gonna meet.
Right.
And that's the mindset that I have.
I do think fashion and that type of thing, it goes hand in hand with like self-care and self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, because you're basically your own brand when you walk out the door. You represent yourself. So of course, what you present out there, what you wear, what you step out of course, like I said, I wear workout clothes, but I'm still wearing a sports bra or a regular bra, or I'm wearing something that's still covering, or I'm wearing a jacket on top of it. It's just something quick. When I think of my quick and easy things, that's what I think about. But usually they're paired together. It's already matched up, but I still have washed my face. I've still made sure that I put my protective sunscreen. I still make sure my hair is combed. So it sometimes all goes together. It's a self-worth, mental self-love, self-esteem type of situation that kind of goes hand in hand when if and that's like you said. So maybe that's the mindset or culture that I'm thinking of, someone that's not caring for self. And sometimes that's what it shows. And Leisha, even though you have had difficulties, you still have a self-love and a self-worth for yourself. So you were saying that, oh, you don't know what you're going to wear. I've seen you dress up and you figured out what to wear. So that
was the Lord. The Lord called me back. Where you going? Where you going? And I'm like, no,
so I don't
snug.
I don't doubt. Even if it's the Crocs, you'll find a Croc that go with that ballroom gown. I know, gotta figure it out for you. So I ain't worried about it. So and you'll make it look good. So, but it's about the self-love and the self-worth that kind of ties hand in hand, that creates the look. And again, you don't have to be stressed about what season you're in, because you're putting the self-love and the self-worth and the self-respect on yourself. So that way, when you walk out, you look like you belong in whatever season you're in.
Yeah. I used to work back home in the Mental Health Association. And I had a lot of volunteers that I had trained to work with and befriend folks with mental illness. And there was one volunteer, she's passed on now, but Lydia could put on a black dress, black sheer stockings, a basic black no-heel little loafer, and a straw hat with a black ribbon around it. Nobody, I mean, she looked like she lived in Palm Beach, the wealthiest area. You know, her house sat on two streets. You could come in from List Road or Vanilla Road. Literally, you could come in from either way to come into the house. But she could make a black dress just sing. And I want, we need to teach our young girls, about that self-worth and that self-esteem, and they want to show their piercings and they want to show half-naked bodies because the people on TV is showing that. And I remember Aaliyah, the singer. Yeah. Aaliyah could make sweatpants look like $1 million. She wore sweatpants, huh?
But with a sports bra now, Leisha.
Yeah, with the sports bra. She was doing her video, but she just, I mean, it does say to me, for me, and I'm not judging people, but you bring my attention to you when you walk into a place and you look like you really don't really. I could tell kind of what you're going through.
Right.
Because after a while you'll say something or you'll be on the phone. There's this lady that got out of the car and I saw her fussing on the phone. She brings the phone out the car with her and she's fussing and I'm behind her and she's like, well, you don't understand, you're just making me sick. Now why you keep bothering me? Well, ma'am, you could have said, look here, let me call you back or stay in the car. But I can hear you 3 hours over in public still fussing. But look at her. She just put on a dress, a house dress. And that was it. She didn't comb her hair because it was all over the place. And she didn't care. Her bra strap was falling off her shoulder. But she had to get to this potion on the phone. She just had to. And I'm like, oh my God. Can you just take a breath? Just take a breath. Because I know you don't know what you're looking and you're drawing all of this attention to yourself.
You know, I just said that because today I was doing my little meditation moment at, by the water. And there was a same lady talking loud. And I'm saying, does she want me to actually hear a conversation or what is the situation? And my thing is sometimes it could be, I think people are not cognizant of their actions. So I don't need to be part of your conversation. There's a way to talk, but I think trying to tone it down, learning to tone the volume of your voice down, recognizing that everybody does not need to be part of your conversation. And really, especially if you got it on speakerphone, you yelling and the person on the other end is yelling. So you got two yellers and you're not part of any of that conversation at all. And it's just, it just does something to the atmosphere. And I think sometimes people just need to just think, is it that serious? Do I really need to step outside and talk on my phone? Can I just be inside? And now if you got a Bluetooth car, you can hear conversations outside the car. So you have to be mindful of that as well, And so I think, I don't know, in addressing some of the people that, with certain outfits or certain demeanors, if you address it with them, then it's defensive. Well, this is my style. This is where I like it. Not recognizing that it could be your mood. And I remember an educator said years ago, picture day was the best day. Kids act their best. They were dressed in their best. And everybody wanted to look nice. The hair was combed. They were kempt, those who could afford it. And then soon as after picture day, then they go right back to what, you're not worrying about. They got the clothes dirty. Not worrying about other things that were taking place. And I think when you feel good or look good to when you look good, feel good about yourself, smell good, put a little perfume or oil or something on, then it makes you feel better. If you're not a makeup person, fine. Don't wear it. Maybe something like lip gloss or light lipstick or something like that. Just something kind of make you perky. Because I remember working with clients, especially my females, and I would ask myself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 not good, 10 great, what are you feeling? And so they'd give me a number. So if it was 5, I said, what would need to happen for you to feel like a 6? And lady said, put on lipstick. I said, okay. So it's like simple things like that. So they're able to monitor their demeanor, just giving them something to look forward to. Because, everybody might not like your lipstick, but if that's going to make you feel good and keep you out of bed because you don't want to be depressed, put it on.
Yeah. Oh, you said something about when you said your meditation and the person. A lot of times, even with that, that's about being present. And so sometimes if you're not present into what's going on, that literally that stress that you're dealing with will just come out completely. So if a woman is yelling, I can imagine that yelling started when they were at home, when they were in the pajamas, and whoever they were on the phone with was saying, well, what you got to do. And then instead of them being present to what they were doing, which was, I need to change my clothes, I need to go to the grocery store, I'm going out in public, they're so focused on what's stressing them out that they can't even give the attention to what really needs to be, which is themselves and how they present themselves outside. So it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, when I was saying, because I like to go there, I do like little scenic things. So water is a relaxer to me, and so sometimes I'll go sit by a body of water turn the car off, have the windows rolled down just a little bit, have some little breeze, and just kind of woosah. You know, that's but then what I was saying, there was a lady parked behind me, and she was like, I could hear her yelling. I'm thinking, wow. So it changed the tone. I get it. It's a park, it's a beach. People are entitled to do it, but I think, people come there to relax. It's a scene to relax. It's not the club. It's not it's not the go-go scene. It's not that. It's a place where people go and like woosah. That's my thought. Maybe other people go for something else, but that's where I go.
And I think, they start out going to the park or going by the beach or going by the ocean or going by the water with a good intention.
Yeah.
But it's that phone call of the person, unresolved issues. See, we're talking about fashion tonight, really, to be honest with you. But we got to talk about your mindset too. What mood are you in? What are you feeling? What dictates to you? What makes you feel better? And it's just, my daughter, she'll tease me if I'm in all green. She goes, looking like, what do you call me? Looking like a cucumber or something. I said, yeah, but I'm calling money to me because I got green on, and it makes me feel good. And then wherever I'm going, hey, Miss Gray, oh my God, I like that green on you. That is really pretty. And it just makes you feel better regardless of what I'm really thinking. But again, no matter what we talk about here, and this is just a sidebar to our audience, whatever we talk about here, we're trying to set this thing straight while we can, because the way the world is going, it's not gonna get more pleasant. So you've got to make it. For your space, you've got to make it. So when I get in my car and my garage door is going up, I'm like, okay, yeah, let me go run these 3 errands and let me do what I have to do. But I got to focus and things like that. And then if I get a call and it's somebody that's going to, not be too happy, even if I think it's a client, I won't answer, especially if I'm in a good mood.
No.
I won't answer it. That's what you got call ID and voice messaging for. I'll call you back later, because I want to enjoy this moment that I'm getting out and I'm feeling good and I got a new outfit on and everything. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling accomplished, and it's a sad day that we had to bring up the psyche, your emotions, but that's real. And how you're dressing, what you choose to put on is telling us a lot more than you really want us to do or to know. Go ahead, Winnie.
I was going to make 2 comments. The first one was, like you said, again, the self-control, self-worth, self-love, whichever the case is. If you know that person is going to give you a headache or whatever the case may be, sometimes I just say a prayer and I say, Lord, just handle it for me first, and I'll get back to them later. And then in the hours afterwards, sometimes that issue done been resolved on their end. They done calmed down on their end. So by the time I'm ready to accept whatever they're trying to throw at me, I'm ready to handle it. But back to your green and Belicia saying about the green. One thing I would say for Miss Belicia is if she don't like it, she can join it. That's what I would say. If you don't like it, you could join it. And what I mean by that is that if she knows you like green, but she don't like that green, she can always invest in something that she feels would bring out your green and your personality and your shine. Because I do that with my mother. But sometimes, as funny as this may sound, the best thing that you do fashion-wise is your personality and your smile and who you are. And sometimes that's enough to bring the fashion out. And like I said, that's that self-love, self-worth, self-esteem. My mother used to walk around in these little hats, and me and my brother just hated the little hats. But everywhere she went, people just loved her in the little hats. And so we end up not hating it anymore. We end up just joining it, and we end up buying her other little hats and bought her little outfits to match her little hats. So that way, because who she was spoke so much with the hat that people loved it. And even though we just saw that, we thought like you just throwing a hat on your head, but it just spoke to her personality. It spoke to her smile. It spoke to her joy, and people just end up referring her, oh, that sweet lady with that little bitty hat, or that sweet woman and I just love her, and I just love her hat. And so we end up couldn't fight it anymore. We would be the enemy if we would take that hat away. So we end up just joining it. We just found more hats that we thought would, you know, bring her personality and something that we thought would match it. And so sometimes that's what you can do, especially if it's somebody that you see could just use that little that little, you know, tick to get them through it. So Belicia, just buy her something else green. Buy maybe a green drink.
And even though I went to on Saturday, I went over, she was doing my hair, and I had my mask on, and she later on told me that one of the other classmates was like, I see that you and your mom have such a great relationship. Y'all just laugh and stuff because we sit, well, half the time we think at other people. But anyway, we're like, did you see, what are you talking about? You know, but we have that personality. And for that young man, I mean, I noticed him over there at the, you know, at the shampoo bowl, but I didn't know he was noticing us. And he was like, God, you guys are so happy. And you have a great relationship. And this is real. You know, right. It's really real. So, you know, but here's the Miss Fashionista. I want to kind of segue here. As when she was a baby, she was the first to walk out of her twin brother. And I've shared this with everybody, but she was walking and her daddy was feeding her some breakfast, and she'll go waddle back in the room and she come out with a new outfit on that weren't purchased together, but they matched. And then she'd get a little mouthful full of grits, and then she'll go wandering off again. Thank God she never choked, Jesus. You know, as because she's walking, you know, while she's eating and chewing. And she come back out with another outfit. Now, you know, I'm a mother that I don't have my head in the sand. So I'm watching my kids now because I'm like, I know I ate a lot of ice while I carried these two. So I'm watching them now because I don't know, you know, I'm like, okay. But she was really, if you want to look at her, she was really hyper. But it wasn't hyperactivity. She was hyped and she was so excited. And to this day, she's the fashionista. She's got her homeboys that will go to the mall and say, hey, what you doing? Well, I'm at the mall, man. Does this look right? I mean, you know, I keep telling her you need to charge by the hour, but you know, we'll get there. But those are her boys. They'll call her and they're not talking to their girlfriend about what looks good. They're calling her and say, well, does this look good? So what I was trying to say is parents, especially if you're new parents, pay attention to your babies. Pay attention to your babies because they will tell you who they are as they're developing. Now, fortunately for us, she never lost that sense of color, that sense of fashion. She wants to make sure she went and got what I put on. I dressed her like a girly girl and she liked that, but she loves her Converses, her sneakers, her Air Maxes or whatever they call. But she'll go out there with her jumpsuit on and her matching sneaker. That's a sneaker to me. But anyway, and she looks good. And her handbag, everything. So she never lost that. So parents, you know, tune into your kids. What is it that they like? What is it? I'm very fortunate. All three of my kids look very good in all colors. So there was never a color that I put, if it was mint green or that new brown, it never failed. They wore the colors well. And to this day, they're like that, you know, but I paid attention to them. I watched them, you know, and I dressed them accordingly to their personality, you know. And so, you know, parents, you know, be watchful of that. And again, we're the first set of eyes that our children see. We're the role model from day one. We're the role model from day one. And, you know, I'm sure one of your mothers really surprised when she see you walk out with a hat, said, she always messing with me about my hat. Now she
do. She does. She does. Whenever I wear my hats now, but I sometimes wear my hats, you know, when in between times, if my hair needs to be redone, I've become a lot more evolved in my style and my fashion. So, and I'm a person that tries to find accessible ways or ways that work with me, work with my lifestyle. So I'm always trying to find things that work with my lifestyle. So I'm not gonna kill myself about or walk out if my hair is not done. I'm gonna get me a hat and put a hat on top. I'm gonna brush the hair, put a hat on, throw it up, put it to the side. I'm gonna always make sure that my face is clean, my face is moisturized. I'm gonna take care of the necessities that I need to make sure if I can't go to the nail stylist, I'm gonna do it at home. I'm gonna find a way to do my own pedicure. I'm gonna, I'm always trying to find self-care, self-worth that works with my lifestyle. So I'm not a person that thinks that you should have to go outside of what your lifestyle is. Get the braids if the braids are more convenient for you. If you don't know, like I was saying, my girl was saying, is silk press season. So get silk press during silk press season, so that way in the summertime your hair is not frizzed up. That's braiding season. So I just try to follow what works for me, what's convenient to my lifestyle. So that way I don't have to feel like I'm overwhelmed and then I'm just running outside with a bonnet or my shorts. So sometimes that's what you just need, just finding things that work with your lifestyle, so that way you're not in a place where you just have to show that everything is falling apart in your life, basically. Wear a hairstyle that works for you, that kind of stuff.
Into that. And no matter what your shapes are or the shape that you are, I worked at Lane Bryant for just about 6 months because I had to pay a bill. I told the manager, she's like, so what do you, I said, no. Let me calm you down right now. I am not here to change careers. I'm not here to learn to register. I'm not here to charge cards. I am here because I've got a bill and it's going to take me about 6 months to pay it off. And that's all. But I will keep your floors clean. I will keep the dressing rooms clean. I'll keep the counters clean behind the registers. I can promise you that. But me trying to sell clothes to people, that's not my forte. Me trying to, get them to get a charge card, that's not me. I've got my career already set, but I'm not making enough money. So Karen, her name was Karen, ironically, and she chose to ignore what I said, so she, well, I'm gonna give you another dime. I said, okay, fine, $6.10 an hour, I'll take it. Because I figured it out, I could pay that bill off in 4 months with that money, because that's all that check was going towards. So one day, it's a Saturday, and I'm going back and forth, making sure the dressing rooms are clean, and I've got clothes draped on me. So I'm walking in front of the mirror of the old Lane Bryant, okay, back home in Palm Beach, and there was this couple came in. And I thought that they were husband and wife, but soon learned that that was the lady's boyfriend. She had red hair, short and everything. And she kept the manager that day, worked that day, and was telling her what dresses to go put on. And every time I walked by and looked, I said, oh God, why would Karen do that? Now, Karen was a big girl herself, so I thought she'd be a little bit more sensitive to the situation. But she kept, and I kept going back. I'm trying to keep the dressing rooms clean and stuff. So I got to go back and forth in front of this lady in this mirror. So I'm saying, I'm sorry. So as then Karen's going to catch me. I'm coming back through. I don't have anything on. I'm trying to just get to the register so I can clean up that area. She goes, Lisa, what do you think? I said, no, that don't look good on her. And I kept going. That's enough. And then she came, I came and she goes, well, tell her what. I said, and I looked at Karen like, you don't want me to do this. I said, you know what? If you don't mind, give me a minute. I went to the front of the store. It just so happens nothing was on sale. I got 6 pieces. 6 pieces. One was a romper. One was a long, nice, outing, long maxi dress with a thin sleeve. Very complimentary to her body shape and to her hair color. I said, try these. And Karen's like, oh. And I'm like, you pull me into this. I'm trying to be nice and respectful in front of a customer. I'm trying to get... Next thing I know, that she come out the dressing room and she's looking at him. She don't even look in the mirror. She's looking at him. He said, I like that. He said, yeah. All 6 items she tried on, the regular priced. He paid for it, to her surprise. So later on, Karen's like, well, Alicia, that was really kind of good of you. I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. How long you been working at the store? Why would you do that lady like that? You were afraid, you tried to get rid of the clearance stuff? You better take it to the full price, no discount. You need to stop that. Ironically, the cashiers that came in, that they trained them off of my number. So every month I would have the highest sales count and I ain't sold nothing. but they used my number to type in the register. And that just blew my manager's mind. She, how are you doing that? Not on purpose, But I mean, the lady had several different shapes. Yeah, 5 more minutes. And Winnie, I want you to close us out here. But shapes and sizes do matter. If you're gonna have on blue hair for the week or for the 3 weeks, kind of bring that on in. I'm thinking, and maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, kind of, bring that in and have complementary colors, on as you're going to work and things like that. And you're going to, and people go, I'm not going to talk about college campuses or high schools. The schools had to change their policy and say no pajama pants. I saw it. Jones High School, one of the African-American well-attended high school here, they put it on Facebook and all their social media. Parents, you need to pay attention to this. We will not allow pajama pants, the hair things on you, none of that. Slippers, if we think it's a house shoe, you're going to have to come and bring them a better shoe. Put it in policy and put it on social media before school started. That's how bad it has gotten. Winnie, please give us some pointers on style and color and do what you do.
The main thing I would always say is, it starts with your self-love, your self-worth, and your self-esteem. It definitely starts there. And you can find fashionable, trendy items in a wide range of prices, places, stores. Google is your friend. Pinterest is your best friend. YouTube and even TikTok for the younger people are also your friend. Instagram is your friend. Find someone that you like their style and you basically can follow along. But everybody doesn't have to be your style teacher. Everybody doesn't have the same goals or same desires as you. So always think about that in mind, what you're trying to portray, what you're trying to send out to everybody, and is it going to really bring back the worth that you're trying to establish for yourself. So if you can answer those questions and you can feel confident about those things, then wear it. But if you can't answer those questions and you can't get those answers out of it, then maybe you need to try a little bit harder. That's the best thing I can say. Style is personal. Everybody has one, but you can always have a mentor to look towards as a guidance, as a guide. And that's the best thing I can tell you right now.
Well, I thank you. And if anybody out there in our audience that, you have questions for her, whatever, please feel free. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Put your question in the search bar or the question area. I'll get that to her. We'll get you an answer. And definitely, Winnie, I hope you'll come back and join us as well, because it was very interesting. And you see, we can go into 18 different, topics, subtopics, for every gender, for everybody, and it really speaks to, again, dress. You could dress for success. But the success is inward. It's how you're feeling about yourself and what you're thinking. So, I thank you so much, and we will have you back on our show. See, it wasn't so bad. Yes, give her a shout out there. And she is available for consulting and things like that. Now you got to have some tough feelings, because she's gonna tell you the truth now, because she is a Leo. We tell you the truth. You may not like it, but she will tell you the truth that she's worth it, because and her experience and everything, her knowledge is just just awesome. And it blows me away. But I'll pay somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't want to know everything. There are other people out there that can help you and to be, feel better about yourself. So again, thank you, ladies, for everything. I guess that's our time. We will talk about some holidays and awarenesses and all that good stuff the next round. But you all be safe in the meantime. Please be safe out here. And thank you again. Night, night. Take care, guys.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.